Hello, this is Alena from the Cause Production crew, and today we are here with
Arianna Fox.
You're good. All right. So, first question would be, what does it mean to be a girl entrepreneur?
Right, so it's an entrepreneur who's a girl. No, I'm just kidding. That's also a true definition, but it's basically I own a business. It's called Big Ideas Kid Coaching, and I didn't talk too much about that solely for the sake of time, but Big Ideas Kid Coaching is the business aspect behind my inspirational speaking. So, it's inspiring people on a professional level. That's what we like to say. It's there for, speaking, coaching. It's also kind of like a method of me being able to sell the books and just anything more goods and services related. But yes, so an entrepreneur is a business owner, and I'm a girl, so that answers that question.
All right, thanks. And what would you say are your biggest influences, like your favorite books or movies that inspire you to write your own?
Well, of course, in general life, my biggest influences are my wonderful parents, Mike and Trisha Fox. But when it comes to books, I gotta be honest here. I've told a few people today that I'm not like a lot of teenagers in the sense that I actually really love classic literature, way more than a lot of modern literature. In fact, actually, I didn't like to read until I first discovered classics. And so I realized that it was really cool. And so I always loved writing, but that helped really influence a lot of my work. So, I'll still try to write in a way that's more understandable to readers, but I also want to use some of the amazing things that are in classics, like a lot of deeper characters. They had a lot of characters that actually went almost uncharacteristic. They had times where they almost acted a different way, but it was made in a suspenseful factor to make it like, why are they acting like this? And so there's just a lot of really cool things in Victorian books that kind of inspired me to do it. So my favorite book series is the Sherlock Holmes series by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Just phenomenal characters, storyline, everything. But I love tons of other books that are classics, like, Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia, or anything Jules Verne, like Around the World in 80 Days, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, and all kinds of other really cool books. But yeah, and there are some really cool modern books as well. I liked reading The Hunger Games and a few other ones too, that do inspire kind of like that old style of really focusing on the 3D element of a character, because we as humans are like completely 3D in how we are. There's not just one aspect to a personality. A lot of us, we may be sweet but have sarcasm at times, or we may be, shy but then come out of our bubble and start talking a lot when we get excited. And I think a lot of authors neglect that. They don't realize that people can be so 3D and they can act differently than normal. So that would be my answer.
To go along with you talking about dimensional characters, what would you say is your favorite character that you've written?
Oh, that I've written? Ooh. Oh no, that's like picking a favorite child. Come on. And although some parents do have favorite children, I do not have a favorite character. If I had to pick, they're not from stories I've published, but one of them is a cool French detective lady named Adeline Delaporte, who's kind of like a female Sherlock Holmes, but has a whole lot more of an aspect to it. Completely different in a lot of ways, but I have to use that as an example. But I also love writing more detective-ish characters too, like that. Like I have currently a character I love that's a Scottish detective, so I gotta have my signature Celtic representation. But in the books I've published, I might say I like Saber Black as a character, the young adult protagonist. She's just very relatable. She's like a Katniss, kind of your standard YA protagonist, but I do like how relatable she is. I feel like a lot of teens can find her like, oh yeah, I'm like that too. It's hard to make choices for me too. It's hard to, to realize, I've got a lot of pressure and responsibility that I don't want to, I think she's a very relatable character, so, yeah.
All right, and also, what are some books or acting movies that we should be looking forward to that haven't been released yet that you're working on?
Oh, indeed. Well, for my current books, I'm kind of in works of just different things and seeing what works, and people keep telling me, you gotta pick one genre. You have to pick one really good genre and then just stick with it. And I'm like, but I don't want to. I have all these other subgenres I love. So I'm still working on figuring out which book will be like the next one that I publish. But as for movies, no, I'm in a few movies that are coming up, but I mainly actually want to, if you don't mind, use this question as a launching kind of a I don't even know what the word is, to get the word out about some of my daddy's movies, because he's a director, and right now he's working on two main things. One is kind of like a little bit less right now because he's working on the fundraising of his other short film called Sleepers, and actually the fundraiser is still up, and it's on Indiegogo, so if you go to like my social profiles, if you go to his, check it out, donate. And also he's also working on another one that's more of a full-length feature one called Mia's Bridge, and that is phenomenal. It's all about unity and community. That rhymes, but it's really, 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 really cool. So definitely check that out.
All right, and then my last question, just what would you say, like, your favorite memory of either being on set or working on a book of yours?
Oh man, there's so many cool ones. I mean, I love being able to be sort of on really cool sets, like sets that are all dressed up and look really cool. Like there was one time I was on a biblical set and it just looked like you just stepped into like the back then and ancient Israel and all this kind of stuff, and it looked really nice. But I got to admit, one of my favorite times was actually very recently when we were shooting the trailer for Daddy's movie Sleepers, and I got to be learning choreography for fighting. that was amazing. I really enjoyed that. I've always been a lover of weapons and cool fighting and things like that, especially cool fights in movies, like in action movies and stuff. And for me to actually be one of those people was actually really surreal, but really exciting. And so I got to do blocking and looking around and doing different stuff, and it was a really, really fun thing. You can actually see it. You can find it online on the Sleepers trailer. So if you go to Sleepers, the movie, like on Instagram and Facebook, you can find it. Wink, wink.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.